Today's video is going to be part one of probably 2 or 3 videos talking about Google Drive and how to use it and how to maneuver through it. So let's get started. Okay, so if you look here, I'm in my Google Drive, and most people, I know one complaint that most people have is that Google Drive is just full of files. It doesn't look organized. And so while that can be true, a lot of it really depends on your knowledge of where things are, what's shared with you, so on and so forth. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk a little bit about how things are arranged, how to maneuver in Google Drive, and what's the different types of shares and access you have, because that's really what bases your view of the data. Okay, so if you notice, when you get right into your Google Drive, you'll notice My Drive is highlighted. That's your default location, and what that means, these are any files that you've created, you personally. Okay, and so if you notice, I have one file in my Google Drive, My Drive, called Test Doc, that I created today. Okay, the default view kind of shows a suggested section here, and as you have more files, they'll span across here than the actual file. Okay, you can change that view by clicking List Layout. You can go back and forth between, so you still have suggested here, but it would list your files as a list if you prefer. Okay, so this particular default area is called your drive. This is where all your files are. Okay, right below it, there's a section called shared drives. Now, a shared drive is a folder that you are a part of a share, but you don't necessarily own. Depending on the access, you can view things, you can comment in files, you can edit files, you can collaborate on files, you can even delete files if you have access. Okay, but you are part of what they call a shared drive, and basically what the biggest use of this is for teams. So as an example, at First Baptist, our trustee team, I think it's 7 of us, we all have a shared drive that all of us have access to, and that's where we store everything from our meeting minutes to our building drawings. And everybody has access to it. No one, quote unquote, owns it. We have access to it. So that means if you no longer have an account, or you no longer are part of that share, you don't necessarily take files out of that folder. The only thing that really goes is your access. Okay, so it's not one of those things where if someone leaves the share, nobody has access to everything in it. The shared drive is still there, still available. The person that left no longer has access. Okay, so that's an important thing. So if I click on shared drive, you'll see I'm a part of our church meetings share. Every person that has an account at First Baptist gets this, so they can have access to our church meeting minutes and reports and those kind of things. So if you see here, we have folders inside of the church meetings share. All right, and then we have a meeting minutes folder, a quarterly reports, and some other files. This is kind of sitting at the top layer. So I have access to all of that. I can view. I can't edit. I can't change because it's the church documents and it's for our records, but I can view it. Okay, so that's in my share. Whatever share that you are a part of, you will have a share that will span as you have access to. If you notice on the right here, it tells you it's one group, and in this share, 6 people. This is probably temporary. I'm not sure why it's 6, but nonetheless, this is a shared drive. Okay, so right below it, this section is shared with me. So the difference between this is this view, when you click on share with me right here, this view shows you all files that are shared with you. So in other words, person A says, Mark, I want to share this streaming overview document with you. What'll happen, they'll give me a share. Okay, I'll get an email that says person A shared this with you, and what happens once they share it with me, it will show under shared with me. Okay, so someone shared this streaming document with me. The person who shared it with me, I just so happen to have it in another tab, another Google account. This is the document that I shared with the person. If I right click on the document and click share, it will show I've shared it with training user 1. Okay. So now if I go back to training user 1, there's the share. Okay. Whatever access that I have on it, if I have edit access, I can go and edit it. If I only have read access, I can view it, and that's it. And that's it. So now if I wanted to see that document, I can just click on it, and I can see the document. Right? Simple enough. It's shared with me. All right. So let's go back to my drive. And you notice when you go back to my drive, what's shared with me is not in here. Okay? My drive is just what I created. All right? So I created this test doc today. And all it is a test Google doc that I created. I put the word test. I name it test doc. Okay? It's open. It's mine. It's not shared with anyone because it's mine. It's in my drive as test doc. So again, the overview, review, my drive, files that I created. Shared drives are folders that I'm a part of that are shared with me. I'm a part of the church meetings folder. Whatever privilege I have, I can do whatever I want to do with documents and files. Okay? Shared with me is files that are shared with me. Okay? So, really simple. Let's talk real quick about the right side of here. On the right side of here, as you go into the different sections, you can see details of the file and activity of the file. And as you build things, this will become full. You can even restore documents that maybe you made changes or you want to revert back to a change. They'll be listed here. And if it allows reversions and backups to be restored, it would allow you to back it up on this section. Okay. Let's talk about this option right above it. This is called a priority. And what the priority is basically, it's like a folder, or they call it a priority that you can create. So it's like your own folder creation of files that can be in different places. So for instance, if I wanted to create a testing priority where I have files that are from different places, I can create the workspace, right? So I'll create the workspace. Let's call it testing priority. And now in that testing priority, it tells me I can add up to 25 files, and I can add files, okay? And when I add files, I can add files from files that are shared with me or files that are on the shared drive, okay? But I don't have to worry about going out and finding it. Let's see here. I don't have to worry about going out and finding it once I... All right, so that's a little bit better. Sorry about that. So now it tells me get started by adding files to your workspace. So even though I created this, let's add the one file that's shared with me, and let's also add something from a shared drive. Okay? So now if you notice, this priority called testing priority, okay? Let me switch it here. This might be a little bit easier. This testing priority now contains a file that was shared with me because I don't own this. This was shared with me. And this file is from the shared drive church meetings. Okay? So now I don't necessarily have to worry about where they are or go find them again. This points to a shared drive. This points to a shared file. So I don't have to go in here and say what's shared with me and find it, or what's a file that's in a shared drive and find it. I can go to priority and both of them are at my disposal. And they'll point to wherever they need to point to. I don't have to worry about finding them again, which is a really nice feature. One thing that I might use that for is I'll create a priority that may say church live stream. And if someone on the team shares a document or a graphic with me, I can point to that. If person 2 shares a document with me, I'll point to that. And I don't have to go, and every time I want to edit those 2 files, I don't have to go and find them because I pointed to them in the priority that I made. So really nice feature to have. Above this, and this is probably something a lot of people don't utilize, this button above this allows you to create any kind of Google document that they have. So you click new, you can create a new folder. You can upload a file from like your local hard drive. You can upload a folder straight from your local hard drive. Or you can create a Google Doc, a sheet, a form, a slide, a drawing, a map, a sites. All of these things can be created. And what it's going to do is going to create it right inside of your My Drive. So let's just do something real quick. We'll create a Google sheet. Okay. We'll call it test sheet. I'll put in 1 and 1. And I'll summarize it. As you can see, 1 and 1 is 2. It's saved. I go back to my drive, refresh it. And you'll see the test sheet is here. Very simple. Now I have 3 documents, okay? I created a test sheet, right? I created a test doc today, and this was shared with me today. Now, if I wanted this test sheet to be a priority, I can just add it. But as you notice, it's just still whatever is my priority, these things still point. So very simple. It's just a high level place for your documents. And back to my drive. Now that you see it's actually being refreshed. Now the shared file shows up. Test doc, test sheet shows up. All there. So if you notice, this doesn't show here because it's not my file. It's shared with me, but it's not mine. The only 2 files here are mine. All right, so pretty easy. Things can get complicated, I know, but understanding what these things mean will help. Just to give you an example of how complicated it can be, here's my account with my church, but you notice I have a lot of different files here and folders, and these folders all are things that I've worked on that's in my drive. Here are all of the shared drives that I'm a part of. As you can see, church general information, church history, church meetings, live stream production, anything that kind of I'm a part of is here. And then this is everything that's ever been shared with me from different folks. Okay. Pretty simple. So hopefully this helps kind of demystify what Google Drive is, and we'll get into more advanced features the next time. Thanks.